Right, so here we go, another day. Now, I messed up. I'm gutted. I was meant to take the earth leads out of this wiring loom for the coils. Now, I was sort of worried, or am sort of worried about interference, because obviously you've got your lives to the coils, your earths to the coils, and the signals. And I was just worried that it might cause interference, and I left them in. Oh, I can't believe it, I'm gutted. Now, I've got two options. One, because this isn't sealed yet, you see that it's just ready to go and silicone in, so I'm glad I didn't silicone it. Two options. I can de-pin it at this plug where the leads are, run these, then like join on the earth cable and put an earth somewhere, or cut it all open, cut it out behind the dash. I'm hoping I can still get to those we'll see if I can get to them, I suppose will be the question, and then have it earth in from the back into the chassis somewhere. That would be the better solution, because then it still leaves a quick disconnect. It only leaves these to disconnect the whole engine, rather than disconnecting this and then getting an earth cable. But it is just one earth cable, so it's not too bad. It depends how lazy I want to get through it. But anyway, first job, I'm just going to get that knocked out of the way, and then I'll go in talking about the next lot. So nowhere near as bad as I was expecting. Cut that out. You can see, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, there is an earth just down at the bottom there that goes through and comes out, and I've joined it onto an earth post that I made earlier on. So yeah, so that's all that tucked out of the way. I'm glad I didn't silicone this up. Again, I'm not going to do that now. Wait till it's running, make sure it's right. So yeah, so next job I'm going to do is get this secondary fuse box fully mounted. Obviously I've got the front panels here, and yeah, I'll just need to make a support. There is like a bracket at the back, so maybe I can use that. We'll see what it's like when I've got it bolted in at the front and go from there. So yeah, next thing you'll see hopefully is it all bolted in secure, and then obviously I can look at doing the wiring. Right, so that's now mounted. It was a bit dark in there now, wasn't it? Let's get a torch on there. Hang on, bear with me. I don't know if we can see that down in there. So that basically, that coil pack wire, the earth wire that I have to cut apart, I have put an eye on the other end, and with a riv nut up in the top bracket, and then attached it onto the fuse box down the bottom. So it just means I can undo this top Allen key, and along with these, and it will come out. It will allow a little bit of flex and movement, because obviously the dashboard is plastic, back's metal, just allow a little bit of movement, but supports all the weight of it. So now that's in there and solid and doesn't tap or rub. So yeah, so with that done, that's tonight's job finished. Stayed there a bit longer than I was going to, but I'll come back tomorrow, and I might wire these in. I suppose that makes the most sense. Get these wired in, and go from there. Right, I'll see you shortly. There we go. So with a few more, another evening, just doing little bits and pieces. Got the all of the powers now like in, wired into this fuse box. Yeah, it's a bit dark, but the cables are like all tied back out of the way, so this all sort of ready for the glove box. Now, took a bit longer than I thought, as usual. So the only one I've got left off here is the ECU power, which will be going to this fuse box here. But what I'm going to do is, before I wire that in, I'm just going to run that to a battery to turn the ECU on, to change all the configuration settings in the ECU for like the power hold setup, so it's not trying to operate anything without it being ready to operate everything. So it's just literally a power. All the there's no fuses in here, so nothing else will turn on. to do that. And then the other thing I need to do are the triggers. Most of them are done. Things like fuel pump, cooling fans, like high speed and low speed and all that kind of stuff. That's all already done. There's a few relays I need to just sort the grounds out for. Things like coil pack power, injector power, boost controller, that kind of stuff. So that should be minor stuff, and they all go into these multi-plugs. So when those multi-plugs are finished, there's only a few holes left in them, so that'll be good. But I say that'll be tomorrow now. But yeah, it's getting there. It's almost there. It's almost ready to flip the key. Ignoring the fact I got the battery out as well. But yeah, flip the key and let's see if everything powers up. A couple of days later, and back in the car, back in the garage, because it's currently raining, or on and off rain all day. I've now got all of the wiring done and fitted. I don't know if it looks worse than what it is on camera or not, but anyway, they're in, they're fitted. I have put some labels, only just a bit of electrical tape handwritten on there, just so I know what they are should I need to take them off again. I have obviously got all the wiring diagrams drawn out as well, so I can refer back to that. But yeah, so that's all in, all apart from the ECU power wire. Now this is just going to be a case of going to a fuse. Obviously no fuses in there yet, but this yeah, it'll go to a fuse. Before I do that, I'm going to connect it to a 12 volt just to turn the ECU on. I should see if it works. I won't be able to see it, it's a bit too dark. Yeah, I'll see if it turn the ECU on and I can load the new configuration into the ECU. Because I'm running the power hold, it's all different setup, so I don't want anything running that it's not supposed to be running, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to get that onto a 12 volt, connect the laptop to the ECU, set the new parameters in the ECU, and then I will connect the main power back into the fuse box, put a fuse in it, and it should then tell me whether or not that power hold system works, because it will either turn on or it won't. So that is, I'm going to test that now, get that fitted. As long as it works, I'll wire it up, and then we should look at the dash and everything power on, I think. But I'll get this ECU programmed first and go from there. So that is everything now. All the ECU's been set up with the latest configuration. I've only put the fuse in there for the ECU because I'm hopefully just going to test this power hold function. That's the one I'm mainly concerned about because it's a bit new to me. But now it should work with the dash. Now I haven't, obviously, like I say, I've left all the other fuses out. Powers for like injectors and coils and stuff like that, they're not needed, or I hope they're not. So yeah, I'm going to flick the key now, and oh, I need the key, I suppose. And to flick the key now and see what happens. So wish me luck. Well, that's the dash on. Got some settings on there. I'll say they might need a little bit of tweaking and see what's what. Got no oil pressure, apparently, so I have to worry about that. Shed load of fault codes. Map reads about right. Oil temp, nowhere near. But I say I've got no lives or powers in any of the sensor wires yet, so I'm hoping that's probably what that is. TPS, that will need configuring. Yeah, well, we've got something. Now let's have a look at this ECU. I've got a blue light flashing up there, so that's indicating on. So now what I want to see is whether or not this relay will turn off a few seconds later. looks like it'll just switch off with ignition. Maybe there's another setting for it. The switch is on in the first place, which is good. Let's try and figure that out. Right, so I've had a play around. No idea. Simple question, simple answer. Might be because I've got none of the other fuses in to power everything up. Maybe. Might be the fact that the engine's not run, and then the keep alive only works after the engine's running to be switched off. Who knows? So I'm going to do the sensible thing and ignore it for the time being, because obviously the dash does, well, all the ignition and the power turns on to the ECU, so something must be right. But I thought it wouldn't work if not. I'm going to get everything powered up, and I'm going to try and double check all of the sensor calibrations, make sure that they are all functioning correctly. So that is going to be the next thing. Right, so managed to clear all the fault codes out of it, apart from a throttle power supply, which I'm going to have to dig into. I might need to get the car out of the garage when it stops raining to figure that one out. And the laptop's died as well. So I think it's going to call a halt to today. Yeah, I think I'll probably leave it there. Most of the sensors are reading where they need to be. There's a couple on there we can see in the ballpark. Engine temp's a little bit chilled, but that might just be the calibration. The dash obviously still needs to be set up to all the parameters I want to get all the indicators, things like that working. I'll get this battery on charge. I'll probably set all that up, and then I'll come back next video, I think, where it'll be a case of setting the base time in and seeing if it will fire up. So yeah, join me next time, and hopefully you might hear the thing purr.